for those that don't quite understand what is going on, why is this taking place? What can you tell people about it?
They are trying to ascertain whether behaviour unbecoming of the Premier League has prohibited the opportunity for Newcastle to be taken over by this third party. So a group of fans initially launched this idea of going to a competition appeal tribunal to find a mechanism, to find a silver bullet, to determine that certain parts of the Premier League have operated inappropriately, operated with undue influence to suppress the opportunity for this club to be bought by a third party that might then compromise the Premier League for Big Six clubs and so forth. What they're looking for is a silver bullet. They're not going to get it.
No.
And what you're seeing is a reaction from the Premier League, which is basically invoking, already you've seen that the hearing has been adjourned while the judge considers disclosure. No doubt that the QC, who's a decent QC for Newcastle, knows his way around the football world very well, is asking for disclosure to try and find a silver bullet, to try and find some indication of inappropriate behaviour, undue influence, or something that suppressed the fairness of a reaction to the Newcastle bid from this PIF fund. And what the Premier League are going to do is say, invoke legal privilege. We're not going to disclose anything that's not relating to this. This idea that Newcastle is going to get bought by this PIF fund, this is deader than a dead thing from Deadland. And it's only the people that want to keep it running for their own motivations, whether that's Amanda Staveley because she wants to save face for the holics of the deal that she's manufactured, or whether it's because Newcastle fans, because they're wishing and wanting, and they're right to wish and want a change of ownership. They have every right to want that. But they also have to look at the reality of how this is going to play out. There is lots of different sides to this transaction. This is a part and parcel. I don't expect this to lead to any particular disclosure. I don't expect the Premier League to be giving anything that vaguely resembles something that can be made mischief of, that suggests that XYZ football club has leveraged Richard Masters into having a biased attitude towards a potential new fox in the hen house of the Big Six that control the Premier League. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for something that they can build on for their arbitration to discredit the position of the Premier League. And of course, Newcastle fans, they don't like it, but they've been gotten at it by certain people. And they want their takeover. They want what they've been promised. They want what they've been suggested they're going to get, which is a very wealthy set of owners that are going to come in and change the fortune of this football club from the miserable time that they're having under Mike Ashley. And I understand that, and I don't suggest that's wrong. I don't like some of the observations that they make every time you disagree with them or make an observation about their football club. It turns into a personal assault upon you, and you seem to have some deep hatred of Newcastle. None of the above I have, and I don't support Steve Bruce in everything he does, and I don't think he should be managing Manchester United because he's managing Newcastle. Because every time I say to Steve Bruce is a decent manager, then why don't you advocate his appointment at Leeds United or the next job that comes up, that may come up. I just know the man. I think he's a decent manager. In this instance, they're using every mechanism available to them. Mike Ashley's in a nice position. He's been given 19 million quid out of a non-refundable deposit because Amanda put a deal together she can't deliver. I think Mike's probably thrown a few million quid at arbitration because it makes him look good and deflects away from what he's not doing, which is spending money on a football team. Unfortunately, the casualty of that are Newcastle fans that have an ambition to see their football club escalated back to where it once was, or close to being, in 1996.
But won't Mike Ashley in the long term be a casualty in all of this if he doesn't invest in the club? And I know if he doesn't want the club, why should he invest? But if this is no longer a Premier League club in, say, the end of the year...
He should invest.
But he hasn't really.
Well, that's the nature of the beast.
They keep saying, for COVID reasons, we can't invest. But
well, they don't keep saying that because that's been running for 13 years.
They put out a statement to say that was why they couldn't
13 years, this argument.
Squad.
But for 13 years...
Sure me.
No, sure. I was agreeing with you. Yeah.
Okay.
For 13 years, they've been running the same arguments.
Right.
And the same argument has been that he doesn't have the well-being of the football club at heart. He's only leveraging it for Sports Direct's brand. He is this and he is that and he is the other. Right. And some of their arguments are right because Mike's whole model has been, I will only spend what this football club makes. I've paid my money for the football club and I'm not interested in putting any more money in. So Newcastle regularly makes decent profits. It hasn't done for the last couple of years for the same reason that you, and for the absolute reason that you advance, which is COVID. They've lost their revenue streams and they've lost the ability to make money. So Mike has sat there going, I'm not putting any more money in. And it's beyond comprehension, with respect, that you wouldn't sign Hamza Chowdhury on loan from Leicester with no loan fee on less than 30 grand a week wages in the Premier League, and 30 grand's a lot of money, but in Premier League terms...
Conor Gallagher also linked with them?
But so you look at it and say, where's your manager in all this? What's he being supported with? And of course that's a different argument because the fans are not having the manager either. But I don't see this producing an outcome that makes... I see it producing the same level of conspiracy theory and dark thinking that everyone's against
So
them.
what's the main reason that this acquisition... What is the main reason that this acquisition won't go through, and what are the Premier League opposing?
Well, there's a variety of reasons. The main reason has been the allegation that the fund that is funding this, the PIF fund, is being controlled by a guy called Mohammed bin Salman, who's the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who has a country that has piracy in it, that's hiking a signal from... BN and nicking Premier League content and broadcasting it for nothing. And the Premier League and the BBC and a variety of other broadcasters over the years have gone to this part of the world and gone, you're nicking our content.
Yeah, well, that's a huge problem, piracy.
So the Premier League are looking at it going, we don't like this, we need that to be satisfied. Then they're looking at the owners and proper persons test, and they put forward these various people, of which bin Salman isn't one of them. But he's the money behind it, and he controls the laws in that country. So Newcastle fans won't like to hear this, and they'll come back with a separate set of theories on it. But I don't genuinely believe, of course the Big Six don't want another ox in the hen house. They don't want another guy with a bag of money. Don't. But is there undue influence? Are they controlling masters? Well, I don't think so.
As we were saying, then this Competition Appeals Tribunal is taking place right now to see whether or not there is a case to be heard. If and when we get details of it, we will bring it to you. Sure.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.